John, just know you are heard. You are heard by me. You are heard.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think it is a little bit frustrating as a person who speaks about Clemson to see how many people just adamantly hate what Dabo Swinney is doing. And I will say it's okay to disagree, but man, to just like act like he's a trash coach sometimes, the way they talk, and they may not even see it because they're so blinded. But sometimes I'm like, are you even really a fan? I mean, why even be a fan if you hate on the coach that much?
Yeah. I know. Well, a lot of them probably are not happy that he's, been successful because they wanted him gone, so many years ago. I say this as being someone, and I'll admit this, I probably have admitted this on the show. I was very much anti-Dabo I was in college from 2009 to 2012, wanted him gone. And I was one of these people that you see on these recruiting sites. I was one of them. I am a reformed fan.
Wow. This is
I'm a
something
reformed
new.
fan. Yeah. So
Wow.
I learned after the 2018 season, after they went 15-0 and won 44-16 against Alabama, I was like, you know what? I might benefit from just shutting my mouth a little bit and letting the experts. I mean, once you win 2 national championships, that's more than how many coaches out there ever.
What are the things that you see them talk? What if you just list out the things? What would you say are the listed hated things internally about Dabo? We won't say hated. We'll say disliked.
Yeah, well, I mean, one, it's always about. It starts out right now. At least the hot topic is the coaching staff that he hired. All right, and look, whether you think they're inexperienced or not, this hasn't had a chance to breathe yet. All right. 2, it's always about roster management. 3, it's about how they offer people, or lack of offers or waits and doing all this kind of stuff. 4, it's about, we're just never going to be able to compete with NIL. 5, I mean, I could go on and on. It's just this, the transfer portal stuff. Like, I don't know, man. Like, to get bent out of shape about some of this stuff when you have to have a differentiator. And I think that's the biggest thing that everybody doesn't understand right now is Clemson is not Alabama or Georgia. Just get that into your head. They're not. We don't have the size of their schools or their bases. They're monster schools. And we're a big school. Clemson's a big school. Don't get me wrong. But we're not that size. So you have to have a differentiator in what you do. All right. That's why you're able to pull so many players. And regardless of what people want to think about recruiting, Clemson has a stake in more places than it did before Dabo. And they're still going to have a very solid class at the end of this, no matter what people on Twitter or insert Clemson message board, which I could go on a tangent about how I can't stand message boards altogether, but that's another story for another day. But
I don't get along with message boards usually because I end up over promoting myself or the show or something else, and people hate me. So,
well, the same.
I'm a marketer at heart, Houston. I'm a marketer at heart.
Well, I think what it just needs to be is it is a season, and I've thought this is what I've been thinking lately is it's a season right now because you haven't really seen as many coaching changes as you did last year. I mean, think about it. You've got Oklahoma, which has one of your coaches. Virginia, that has one of your coaches. Miami just got a hallowed son to come in. LSU just got a new coach. Georgia just won a national championship. Tennessee has an entertaining product. So, there's a lot of things that are going on, and then you happen to have your worst season in years where you still won 10 games. So Clemson is going to, if Clemson has a bounce back year, that's going to solve a lot of problems instantaneously. Boom, solves a lot of problems. What I think the next storm will be is when a handful of other schools make coaching changes in the next 2 years, i.e. Nebraska and Florida State, and you'll have to deal with the blowback of those, which I think Florida State will end up going after Deion Sanders. So you'll have to deal with Deion Sanders and Mario Cristobal, and you'll have to deal with that. I think Georgia Tech will make a hire, and I think they'll hire a current coach that's on a hot seat at a major university. I'll keep that to myself for later on, but I think Georgia Tech will be someone that we have to slightly contend with just because of who they're going to get.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Good discussion there. And again, I think that, the Dabo hate, sometimes I think that there is a healthy amount of debate and questioning strategy. I think that is okay. But when you get to a point where you don't sound like a fan, that kind of bothers me a little bit. It's like, come on, you're first of all paying for a site or not paying, or you're spending time on a site in a forum. And a lot of times your username has the name Clemson or Tiger in it. So you're obviously a fan, but you don't really sound like one. It kind of disappoints me. You might be a Gamecock in disguise, though.
It could be that, but the funniest thing I saw the other day, I was on one of these sites, and someone had a picture of Wes Goodwin as their avatar, and they were trashing all the new coaches they had hired. I'm like, then why is Wes Goodwin your avatar?
But
Like,
so my question out loud is, where is the balance between proven coach and also coach that loves your university, that has ties? Because to me, and you can't win for losing, as my grandmother used to say, because when you look at, well, when it comes to coaching staff, right? Certain coaches get put into spots at Clemson. They say, oh, well, they have no experience. We should have went for an experienced guy. I think for offensive coordinator, and correct me if I'm wrong, Houston, but you would have rather had the Ole Miss guy come that eventually went to Oklahoma.
yeah,
You really were high on him, and I was high on him too. I mean,
yeah.
who would not be? He's a proven guy, right? Well, Dabo went with the lesser proven but more loyal guy who literally has a picture of himself in orange overalls at like 3 years old. Okay, so that's Kyle Richardson. You got Brandon Streeter who's a real offensive coordinator, but he's a guy who graduated from Clemson and played at Clemson as a quarterback. So you have ties there. You have loyalty. They're going to pitch your university, but you don't have the expertise. But then again, the same fans will turn around and say, we got to get rid of Robbie Caldwell. He's too old. He's been around way too long. And then on the flip side, say, why is Clemson losing all these offensive linemen to Notre Dame? We need an old guy who knows what he's talking about. It's like, you just told us to get rid of Robbie Caldwell. Now you're telling us we need to do what Notre Dame is doing. By the way, Notre Dame has a guy who's 5 years older than Robbie Caldwell, 68 years old.
Yeah, and I mean, I think those people, I mean, look, I feel like the hires that they made, even though they're young, are going to be good. Look, I mean, the prime example is like, look at Tyler Grisham, right? And he's still got a lot to prove. We'll talk about wide receivers in a little bit, but like recruiting wise, he walked in at the 11th hour to Antonio Williams' home last year, and it was ball game. It was over when he walked into the room. I think with Thomas Austin, people are going to really eat their words this year. When even if Clemson loses Absher, if they lose Freeling, I don't know, and I don't know anything about Freeling. I'm just saying,
I feel like that. Did not Dabo go to Antonio Williams' house? I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, Grish was there too. It was okay. Grisham was all about it.
Dabo is the all-time closer. I know that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you're about to have the closer get his first save in June 3rd coming up.
June 3rd, okay.
I'm saying, just wait.
I think that's another thing too. We got to wait. The recruiting calendar is different this year, and so we've got to wait for these June visits that were not originally in the past. I mean, in the past, you had May, you had your cookouts then in May, and that was basically it. Now you've got this really an entire month of June, I believe, and it's so much different.
Yeah, well, it was camp. Camp would be in June. Cookout's always at the end of the summer,
right?
And so I want to say it. And
well, there's Dabo Sweeney camp is in May, is that right? Or there was a cookout in May, I thought.
No. Not last year they changed it because of the COVID stuff getting lifted. But normally it's camp in June. You have a few weeks of camp, a few weeks of visits there. You get offers out, which is another thing. Here's another tangent. Everybody's like running back recruiting. Oh, there's only 3 running backs. Give it time. They want to get the guys. They want to work out guys. You're going to see guys get offered after camp. There was an offer just 15 minutes ago. JP put it out there of an offensive lineman. There are guys that have camped with them or they've seen work out. These are some guys that they want to at least know that they want to offer. And it's okay. Like we're not to June yet. This is the main thing to remember is it is a marathon, not a sprint with recruiting. It'd be great if we could sign every 5-star in the books right now and be done. And I mean, sometimes that happened, but that's not always the case. And I think the biggest thing Clemson fans, especially the ones that hang on tooth and nail with recruiting, is they got spoiled in 2018 and 2020. Super spoiled.